Hello and welcome, I'm your host Elizibar. And is the cover to Geiger pretty cool looking or what? I think it's pretty cool looking. Look at this, man. We got like a nuclear bomb going off with a skull on it. Like, number one, that's pretty cool. Number two, you got this dude right here, like, just exulting in the kaboom, and he just looks awesome. It's great. I love it. Man, I gotta say, like, how do I want to put this? All the art inside the book, all this Gary Frank art, looks great. It just does. No other way to put it. So this is from Image 399. You can see all that in the convenient corner box there. And I guess Mad Ghost is like a new imprint. Also, the back cover is a comic strip that they referred to in the story. So that's a great little touch too. All right, let's flip this open. Actually, I was going to jump a couple pages in, but no. Let's stop here and just get in here. So we start out with these two dudes talking. They're out in the desert. They got Geiger counters. They're setting up a camp. They're looking and not entirely sure like what they're doing. But there are narrators, so I guess it doesn't really matter what they're doing. I'm sure they'll tie into the plot at some point, but for now, I want you to just I'm going to shut up. I just want you to look at these two pages. All right, you've had a chance to look at those two pages. It's great stuff, man. We get a ton of story here in this first box. Like all this backstory, crazy stuff is happening. There's that comic strip that's the back cover. Maury Muddy Davis, the Vietnam veteran and cartoonist who created Junkyard Joe. Boom! It's right there. Signals cutting out, alarms going off. They're running for their shelter. They go to make it into the shelter. Stuff happens. I mean, look, I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens, but stuff happens. Look at the dog. Dad, what's the dog barking at? Dad, what's the dog barking at? So, being a big softy, Dad goes to save the dog. You know, there's no stronger bond in the world than the bond between a dad and the pet they didn't want. It's a meme, but it's also true, man. So, things go bad, there's a big kaboom, and then we finally meet, 20 years later, the guy from the story. So, back here, they're like, I want to hear about him. The one who walks outside without a suit. All right? He's got a lot of things. Joe Glow, the man of mass destruction, the walking bomb, the meltdown man. Lots of names. Well, I'm going to guess they're talking about him right here. He's got this place built up. It's like a junkyard. And these dudes are all like, we's going to loot you. And then he does this, and they wisely choose to run away. Who could blame them? I would choose to run away. All right, I'm going to just put this down, quit moving it around so you can just kind of soak up the left panel over here. That looks great, man. Now, my one eternal quibble with radiation when it's depicted in pretty much any media is that radiation doesn't typically glow green. The most common visible radiation is from Cherenkov radiation, which is radiation caused by energized ions passing through transparent matter like water or quartz silica, glass, whatever you want to call it, and creating a superluminal shockwave. And now you're like, what, a superluminal shockwave? Yeah, the particle's going faster than the speed of light in that material. Now you're thinking, oh, but you can't go faster than the speed of light. You can in a material. You can't in a vacuum. But you can totally exceed the speed of light inside of something like a piece of glass if you're an excited enough particle. And believe me, when things are radioactively decaying, they get pretty excited. He should be glowing blue. That's kind of my point. He should probably be glowing blue. The Cherenkov radiation would be blue. I'm not familiar with any other kind of radiation that would end up like looking green. I think most radiation would be hot enough that the light coming out would be like a black body spectrum curve and the radiation would just look white. because it would have so many other frequencies of light in it. I guess I should look up sometime like what color of light was coming from the Chernobyl, the elephant's foot, the core in Chernobyl. But I'm not sure anybody really knows because I think they used a black and white camera to take the picture because like nothing could, they couldn't even, the camera got, I think the first camera they took had a direct view on the foot and it just blanked the film from too much radiation. So they actually put a mirror there, and then they took a picture of the mirror to get the picture of the elephant's foot. And the elephant's foot, if you don't know, Chernobyl was a nuclear steam explosion from a core meltdown. And so the elephant's foot is the uranium core, the pile of slag that melted out after the overload. They've poured like concrete on top of all that stuff now. So it's relatively contained, but yeah, that's just some interesting history. That's what this is all this kind of stuff is making me think of, man. Although I really probably shouldn't think that hard about this. Because this is clearly taking some liberties with the physics of the situation, kind of like Fallout. And from that perspective, I was able to turn my brain off after checking this cool glowing green dude out and just get back to enjoying the book. Now, he runs those dudes off, and we get to check in. Apparently, they got a king, and the king looks like a total wimp. But the king wants to hunt a monster, so I think that's kind of the setup for the rest of the story is how that's all going to go down. Who knows how long, like when exactly this opening part takes place? Whether it's taking place contemporary with the, well, not this story, but like the future part of the story after the 20 years after that part. I don't know. Not sure when the framing story is taking place, but it doesn't really matter. It's the framing story. I'm sure the dude will show up and get involved with what they got going on. But until then, sit back and enjoy the ride. I sure am. I don't know if this is supposed to be a mini-series or an ongoing. Either way, I think I had way more fun than I was expecting to have. And that was a pleasant surprise. So you all take care of yourselves. You have a great day. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.